going to be Oakland ball.
It should have been.
Yeah.
And then there's no explanation to can't be. Do they win the game in regulation? Nobody knows.
The good. Pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. The bad.
I've had it with this job. Got no food, got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
And the ugly.
First of all, that's horrible.
Well, that was the worst music group I've ever seen.
The Ivy League does it again. 8-12 straight up in the tourney since 2010. 6-7 in first-round games, all against top 5 seeds. 3 of the losses with a chance at the buzzer.
Oh.
And Princeton went to the Sweet 16 last year. Multiple programs with 2 wins, too. Cornell, Yale, Princeton. Great job as they get it done and beat Auburn. Friday was awesome. 8. I give it an 8. Grand Canyon wins. The fans, the atmosphere, the environment. James Madison wins. Yale beats Auburn. The Colorado-Florida game. The A&M-Nebraska game. Overtime to start with Florida Atlantic. Had it all. Upsets, frenetic pace, low-scoring game, questionable coaching decisions. Had it all on Friday. Loved
Upsets,
it. It was an 8.
You're right.
Yes. That's my good.
I will say, to piggyback, the James Madison and Grand Canyon performances, St. Mary's is good. They had an unfortunate injury late in the year. But Grand Canyon, I thought, was the better team, and there was no comparison. James Madison was, from start to finish, absolutely better than Wisconsin. What did you tell me now? That's the 3rd loss for Wisconsin by double digits as a 5 seed?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it just...
you said you could guess them? Davidson maybe and someone else? It was
the amount of times that this team has gone out in flames to close the season is remarkable. People remember the 2 runs in the Final Four with Bo Ryan.
Yeah, Chris Felica had the tweet. Third time in a row, Wisconsin was a 5 and lost by double digits.
Oh, yeah, it gets ugly with this team. Here's why I'm so upset with the... I mean, again, we're not doing mornings here in Sheboygan. However... I could go on for an hour about how many kids have left that state no chance of staying there, and they're just yeah, okay, we're not going to recruit you because we're probably not going to land you anyway. And they're 4 or 5-star kids, and Halliburton, hello, any good?
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson with the Hawks, no chance of going to Wisconsin. Anyway, not to dwell on that. The Yale game, as you said, the Gonzaga second half against Kansas. First of all, that first half was phenomenal. That's as good as it gets. And for them to play like that, Kansas ran out of gas. They're down guys, obviously. But that was their A-plus game. And then Illinois so far overall. Now, how good has the competition been? But also, they've taken care of business. Kentucky didn't. Kentucky embarrassed themselves as a 3 seed. Here's Illinois with 2 blowout wins now, looking good in the second round. My bad. And this cost me in play because I thought Oregon was clearly the better side in that game against Creighton. The late game collapse by the Ducks, and pin it on whoever you want. I think Altman has to get a lot of this because they had a freshman inbounder late. And what did he do? Creighton gave him the chance to throw it to the kid, Dante, who shoots 60% at the free throw line. So, of course, he's going to throw him the ball. Then he goes and he misses the free throw. As a result, the Ducks could not cover in double overtime. Also, keep in mind, Oregon did not attempt a free throw until 26 seconds left in the game. And it was only Dante and Cuisinart to score for pretty much the entire second half till the game went to overtime. There were only 2 players. And they still should have won, should have covered. Somehow they didn't. Also, the call at the end of the Oakland-NC State game. And as a result... Oakland could not cover. I had 5.5. I know the number got to 6.5. Depends on what number you got. Loser for me. But what the kid's hand is like this, and here's the ball.
Yeah, so you can see it go off the finger.
It goes off the finger.
Yeah.
And so they look at it for 3 minutes.
Was it Sterator too? Yeah, right. It's going to be Oakland ball.
It should have been.
Yeah.
And then there's no explanation to can't be. Do they win the game in regulation? Nobody knows. 2.3 seconds left at that time.
Yeah.
But bad call there, I thought, by the referee, so they didn't cover, which is just, it sucked the joy out of that day for me. And then Tennessee shot, what's going to happen here in this game? Tennessee shot 3 of 25 from deep, but their defense was so good they won. And Creighton, they eventually had good numbers from 3, but they couldn't make, they were a lot of open shots against Oregon. Nothing was falling.
Yeah.
Do we have a reversal in this game now in the Sweet 16? There's my good and bad.
My bad's the SEC. Just the second time since seeding began in 1979 that a single conference lost 5 openers as the better seed. Kentucky a 3, Auburn a 4, South Carolina a 6, Florida 7, Miss State an 8.
Oh, 3 of them were blowouts.
Well, yeah, all lost. And then the 2 big upsets. We only had 2 major upsets, and it was Auburn going out and Kentucky going out. And Rick Barnes, you going to get it done, Rick? 2-13 ATS after the first round. 0-7 ATS run after the first round. They won, they didn't cover, but again, it's okay, buddy. Can you get it done? That region's up for grabs. You man enough to take it? Can you do it, Rick? 2-13. Mountain West Conference bad.
Yeah.
What he's done. And my ugly. What are we doing with the schedule? What is going on? That was a travesty Saturday. It's also common sense. We talked about it on Friday's show. Why is Arizona playing at 10:30 in the morning? Why is the early game in Salt Lake in the West region? Why was the late game in Pitt, which went to 1 a.m.? The Creighton, Oregon Thriller got over at 1 in the morning on the East Coast. And again, they did it Saturday and they do it Sunday. 2 standalone games? Outrageous. But then, why are the standalone... And we had 2 blowouts. We have to sit through Purdue, Utah State, and Gonzaga, Kansas, and eat it and take it with 2 blowouts. And then they put the games, both standalones, in the same arena. So you have nothing going on for half an hour.
Right.
We had a game at 9 in the morning yesterday, and then we didn't have games going on until 3 o'clock because you had standalone, half an hour delay.
Right.
Another standalone. We didn't have 2 games going on at the same time till like 4 o'clock. Or 3 o'clock, excuse me. It's absurd what they're doing with the schedule.
And why have they done this now for 20 years? Like, people are asking us right now on Twitter to, do we have any idea what the ratings were last night? That's a classic game between Texas A&M and Houston.
Yeah, but it's midnight.
It went till midnight on the East Coast on a Sunday night.
Highest ever the first 2 days. You completely give it all back with this ridiculous schedule on the weekends.
And our condolences for you on the East Coast.
You don't have a chance.
Now, we're up against it on this show because we had to, we get up at 2. The sleep, forget about it. No chance last night. But for those of you on the East Coast today doing whatever you do with your careers and your lives, what kind of shape are you in this morning?
We'll do more on that. I'll go quick here. And this got me twice, and it's not just because I lost my bets. I've been talking about this for 10 years. The game's over. We have an agreement. This is out of control. Dayton fouled down 9 with 16 seconds. Washington State fouled down 11 with 10 seconds. Get on the bus! Get out of there! The game's over! I'm sick of this! What are you doing? Oh, you got to foul. You got to keep calling. You're down 10. What do you think's going to happen? Get out of there!
Oh, they want an A&M comeback.
There's 2 minutes left, though. You're down 9 with 10 seconds.
How did it cost you?
I took 10 with Dayton.
No, I didn't know. I'm asking you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I also had in play with the Washington State and the Iowa State as well with the shenanigans. I mean, they're pressing. You're down 12 with 30 seconds.
I'll give you another one, too.
Come on.
Paul, the women's tournament might be worse than the men's. Because they absolutely, you know how emotional they are. They've been there for, and a lot of, we're talking juniors, upperclassmen, seniors now, a lot of them.
Because then the tears are coming, too.
They do not want their careers to end. And so that could be a 12-point game with a couple of minutes left. They're like, yeah, okay.
I threw the remote against the wall. With the Dayton stuff is just stupid.
Yeah. As for the games in Pittsburgh, to piggyback your point again, our buddy Nish, he took his kid to the games. Now, it was classic because he had 2 overtimes. Yeah. Both games go to overtime. He's like, I didn't get home till past 1 o'clock. He lives right there in Pittsburgh.
No.
But it's like the games were incredible, but it's like, why would you do that? Why start the early game in Salt Lake City and then have the late games play on the East Coast?
10:30. The first 2 games were in Salt Lake.
Yeah. Anyway, that's been you've been talking about that for 10 years. I've been talking about this for 15 years. The possessions at the end of college basketball games could be my death knell eventually. The final possession for Florida Atlantic was, and I wish we could play highlights on this show. But so Northwestern ties it up late. You got 8 seconds left. He just comes down. There's no sense of urgency whatsoever.
I knew Vladimir Putin was going to miss the free throw too. I mean, I'd love to bet that.
Well, you also had the broadcast crew on the game saying, "What are you doing, man? You're going way too slow.
Yeah,
you got to move it up here.
May
pick
had
it up
a timeout as well. He should have noticed that.
And he settles for a 25-footer that had no prayer of going in. They go to overtime. That has been absolutely driving me insane about why kids have somehow, some way, I think it starts probably at the AAU level, but there's no way that's coaching. There's absolutely no chance the coach is going to say, here's what we want to do, here's what we're going to draw up. It's awful basketball IQ is what it is, and it's gone on for way. It's hero ball, and it sucks, and it's unwatchable, and it needs to be fixed like yesterday.
They're calling everything. Go to the basket. Try to get to the line. Try contact.
Yep.
So what?
And one we did not bring up yet, Mike, this is ugly. My condolences for those of you who had Western Kentucky plus 14.5 against Marquette. You're up big at halftime. What was it, a 7.8 lead at halftime, catching 14.5, you lose by 20?
Yeah.
You can't cover that game? That is a kick to the breadbasket loser for those of you who were involved in the Hilltoppers.